Inspired by The Alchemist, this story follows a simple shepherd who dares to chase a dream that seems bigger than his world. It is not just a story about travel or treasure. It is a story about courage, destiny, love, and the silent language of the universe. As you listen, you may realize this story is not only about him. It is about you. There is a quiet moment that comes to every human being. A moment when the world stops making noise, and the heart begins to speak. Most people ignore that voice. They call it imagination. They call it foolishness. They call it impossible. But some people listen. This story is about one of them. In the sunburnt lands of southern Spain, where the wind moves freely and the earth smells of old stories, there lived a young shepherd named Santiago. He owned no house, no land, no gold. Yet he was rich. Rich in freedom. Rich in curiosity. Rich in dreams. His days were spent walking with his sheep, his nights sleeping beneath a sky filled with endless stars. He loved this life. But deep inside him, there was a restlessness he could not explain. One night, while sleeping inside the ruins of an old stone church, Santiago had a dream. In that dream, a small child took his hand and led him toward the distant horizon. The child pointed toward the sands of Egypt and said, "Near the pyramids, there is a treasure waiting for you." Santiago woke up suddenly. His heart was racing. His breath was heavy. It was not an ordinary dream. Because it came back. Again. And again. And again. The same child. The same words. The same feeling. And each time he woke up, the dream felt more real than his waking life. Confused, Santiago decided to seek help. In a small town nearby lived an old woman known for interpreting dreams. She listened quietly as Santiago explained everything. When he finished, she looked at him and said, "If you find the treasure, you must give me 1/10 of it." Santiago agreed. She smiled and said, "Dreams are the language of God. If he has shown you a treasure, you must follow it." Santiago left her house uneasy. He wanted answers. Not mysteries. That afternoon, while sitting in the town square, an old man approached him. The man wore simple clothes but carried himself like a king. He asked Santiago about his dream. And then he said something that froze Santiago's blood. When you truly desire something, the entire universe conspires to help you achieve it. The old man introduced himself as the King of Salem. He spoke of something called a personal legend. The one thing you are meant to accomplish in this life. Most people, he said, abandon it out of fear. The king offered Santiago 2 strange stones called Urim and Thummim. They will help you read the signs when the world speaks to you. And then he disappeared. Just like that. Leaving Santiago alone with his thoughts. And a decision. That night, Santiago sold his sheep. Every single one. And with trembling hands, he began his journey toward Africa. The first step into the unknown is always the hardest. Santiago crossed the sea and reached a strange land where he knew no one and spoke no language. Within a day, he was robbed. All his money, gone. Just like that. He sat on the steps of a marketplace feeling broken. He could go back. Return home. Become a shepherd again. No one would blame him. But something inside whispered, "This is part of the journey." Santiago found work in a crystal shop. The owner was a quiet man who had once dreamed of going to Mecca but never dared. Day by day, Santiago improved the shop. He cleaned the crystals. He arranged them beautifully. He suggested selling tea in crystal glasses. Business flourished. Money returned. But Santiago noticed something. The shop owner had chosen safety over dreams. And he was unhappy. After a year, Santiago left the shop. Stronger. Wiser. And more determined than ever. He joined a caravan crossing the vast desert. The desert was silent. Dangerous. Alive. There, Santiago learned to listen. To the wind. To the stars. To his heart. He met an Englishman searching for alchemy. And slowly, Santiago realized, alchemy was not about gold. It was about transformation. At an oasis, Santiago saw a vision. War was coming. He warned the leaders. They listened. And when the attack came, the oasis was prepared. Santiago was rewarded. But more importantly, he learned, when you listen to your heart, it speaks the truth. The desert teaches lessons that no book ever can. It teaches patience. It teaches silence. And above all, it teaches courage. At the oasis, time seemed to pause. Palm trees swayed gently. Water flowed quietly. And for the first time in many months, Santiago felt safe. That was when he saw her. She was standing near the well, her face calm, her eyes deep like the desert sky. Her name was Fatima. From the very first moment, Santiago felt something he had never felt before. Not desire. Not excitement. But recognition. As if his heart whispered, "This is her." They spoke only a few words. Yet everything was understood. In silence. In glances. In smiles. Days passed. And Santiago realized something terrifying. He was in love. And love creates fear. Fear of loss. Fear of separation. Fear of choosing the wrong path. Santiago thought, what if my journey ends here? What if love is my treasure? But his heart answered gently, true love never stops a dream. It strengthens it. Fatima listened as Santiago spoke of his journey, his dream, his treasure near the pyramids. She did not cry. She did not beg. She simply said, go. The desert takes our men, and returns them only, if they follow their destiny. Her words were calm, but they carried immense strength. Santiago understood. This was not love that chained. This was love that set free. Soon after, a mysterious man appeared. He rode a black horse. His eyes were sharp. His presence heavy. He was known simply as the alchemist. He had been watching Santiago. Testing him. He spoke little, but every word struck deep. You have learned to listen, he said. But listening is not enough. Now you must act. The alchemist challenged Santiago to continue the journey. Deeper into the desert. Toward danger. Toward fear. As they traveled together, Santiago learned the greatest lesson of all. That fear is the real enemy. Not failure. Not death. But fear of trying. The alchemist said, your heart knows everything. You must trust it, even when it hurts. One night, enemy warriors captured them. The alchemist said something shocking. This boy can turn himself into the wind. The warriors laughed. Then they threatened Santiago with death. For 3 days, Santiago sat alone, terrified. He spoke to the desert. To the wind. To the sun. Nothing answered. Until finally, his heart spoke. It said, you are part of everything. And everything is part of you. And in that moment, Santiago understood. Transformation was not magic. It was unity. On the 3rd day, the wind rose. The sky darkened. And Santiago became one with the desert. The warriors fell to their knees. Fear had transformed into awe. And Santiago's fear had transformed into faith. The alchemist smiled. You are ready, he said. And then, just as mysteriously as he had appeared, he left. Leaving Santiago alone once again. But no longer afraid. The pyramids were now close. The dream was near. And the final truth was waiting. The desert grew quieter as Santiago walked alone. Each step toward the pyramids felt heavier than the last. Not because of exhaustion, but because of anticipation. For so long, this place had lived only in his dreams. Now, it was real. The great pyramids rose before him, ancient and silent, as if they had been waiting for him alone. Santiago fell to his knees. Tears filled his eyes. I did it, he whispered. I followed my dream. He began to dig. The sand was cold beneath his hands. The night air sharp. He dug deeper. And deeper. Hours passed. Nothing. Just sand. And stone. And silence. Then suddenly, pain. Men appeared from the darkness. Robbers. They beat him. They searched him. And they laughed. You crossed the desert for this? One of them mocked. There is no treasure here. Santiago lay broken on the sand. But then, one of the robbers said something that changed everything. I once had a dream, the man scoffed. I dreamed of a treasure buried beneath a ruined church in Spain, where a shepherd slept under a sycamore tree. But I'm not stupid enough to chase dreams. And they left. Santiago froze. His heart stopped. Then it exploded with understanding. The treasure was never at the pyramids. The journey was. The learning was. The transformation was. The real treasure had always been waiting where his journey began. Days later, Santiago returned to Spain. To the ruined church. To the place where he had once slept with his sheep. He dug beneath the tree. And there it was. A chest filled with gold. Jewels. Riches beyond imagination. But Santiago smiled, not because of the gold. but because he understood. The universe had tested him. Not to give him wealth, but to teach him who he was meant to become. He looked at the horizon and thought of Fatima. He knew where he belonged. Before leaving, Santiago whispered to the wind, "I found my treasure." And the wind whispered back, "So did we." Because the true alchemy was never about turning metal into gold. It was about turning fear into courage, doubt into belief, and dreams into reality. If you are listening to this story now, know this: that quiet voice inside you is real. That dream you keep ignoring is important. And the journey you fear is the one you must take. Because somewhere, either at the end of the road or right where you began, your treasure is waiting. Every journey teaches us something. Some journeys give us answers. Some give us strength. And some remind us who we truly are. If this story stayed with you, it means your heart recognized its truth. If you felt calm, inspired, or quietly moved while listening, let me know in the comments. Your words help this channel grow. For more meaningful stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with us. Thank you for listening till the very end. May you have the courage to listen to your heart and begin your own journey. Until next time, keep believing. Your treasure is closer than you think.